Hey guys. So, last week I asked if you could live just however long you wanted, if you would rather be fixed to a single idealized form of yourself, or if you would rather be able to change forms at will, but never be able to return to the same form twice. I kind of get the feeling that a couple of you guys missed that, so down in the description below, I am going to be leaving a link, timestamp, so that you can get to this section of the video very easily. But for now, let's discuss last week's question.
Ah.
Now, I think that most people, possibly all people, have some sentimental attachment to the form that they're currently wearing. It's normal. I mean, after all, we do have this mental image of ourselves, and extracting ourselves from that is uncomfortable. Certainly, I have lots of memories with this form, which, if I don't have that same form, there's going to be a weird dissociation there, and a sadness if people can't recognize me. But actually, keeping just a single form is no walk in the park either. I mean, even though I say that it's an idealized form, I don't know that that form is still going to be what I think of as ideal tomorrow. And let's say that as I get older, does ideal form mean that I'm also eternally young? I'm okay with being an eternal vampire, but I know a lot of people would be rather upset to see themselves staying young as everyone around them grew older. But let's look at some positive things too. If I have this perfect physical form, the idealized single form, whether or not I have any superficial aging, I definitely don't think that my ideal form is going to ever grow infirm or weak, and certainly isn't going to have any long-term physical injury. That's not part of my ideal form. So in a way, we could think of it as having a form of regeneration, or maybe really it just is transmuting constantly into itself. Or maybe I just wake up with that perfect mental image being my form every day. Could I, even if I wanted to, cut my hair even? Or is that going to revert back to the perfect state? And I mean, I imagine that I could put gel in it or use colored hairspray, since that's adding a physical substance to my form, not changing my form itself. But maybe it falls out. If it's locked in tightly like clothes, then I'm not worried, but gel, it relies on being sticky. Or maybe it just changes itself out when I'm not paying attention. Who can say? I mean, it's the land of fiction. I'm not going to write very, very definitive rules on how each would you rather question works, because arguing these little nuances, at least to me, is a big part of the fun. At very least, I know that I'm not going to have a bad hair day if I can't cut my hair, so that's great. Heck, if I can't even gel my hair, sounds also like I don't particularly need to shower, because I'll just stay fresh and clean no matter what happens. That'd be cool, right? So, perks. Meanwhile, for changing form, nobody's saying that you need to flit from form to form like some kind of neurotic squirrel searching for nuts. I think that even if I could change form at will, I most likely, that is, if I know that I can't change back, I'm going to choose a form that I like and stay there for an extended period until either I become bored or dissatisfied with that form for whatever reason. There's some risk that I suffer a major breakup and decide to change my form, and then I changed my form in that moment of emotional instability and then change back. I mean, I can't change back, but my mind might change back. I might realize that I have other big memories that I like associating with that form. though with time there's every chance that those memories are going to adjust themselves to my new form. Memories are rather plastic, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, not matching my memories or not being recognized by loved ones is rough, but maybe I can get around that. I mean, I said that we have to change forms significantly, but humans are already just basically a hodgepodge of characteristics mashed together, and as we change over the years, gaining weight, getting a haircut, sometimes other major physical features changing, people can still recognize you, at least moderately well. What if instead of trying to have this exact match that I go back to, I just keep a couple of major identifying features? Like in the movies, when you look into the beast's eyes and you realize, oh my goodness, that was my mom the entire time. I mean, people aren't like computers. We can't actually do a retina scan and 100% be sure that that is a person. But irises are complicated, fairly small features. What if I have a really difficult eye color? What if I have something like pink eyes or purple, or markings across my body in a way that no matter which form I take, people always will recognize me as me? And I feel like if I just accept that my form is fluid, maybe then I can deal with that. Maybe just having those identifying features. And there is one more point which I hadn't brought up, that I never said that I have to change into a person. If I could transform into animals, ignoring issues with animal neurology and being able to keep my mind, but if I could keep my human brain, if I could change into another animal, that might be worth it. That might make all of the little inconveniences with not being able to return to a single form something that I can accept because of the pure novelty of being an eagle one day. And no offense to any eagles out there, any eagles watching, I'm sorry, eagle fans, but call me racist, I just can't tell one eagle from another. The fact that I can't be the same eagle twice, heck, I could never know. Though with people who I definitely can tell apart, I will comment the small problem that I'm not that creative. I can't mold a new person from clay and have them look any good. So if I change into a new person, it's going to be someone from a catalog or a picture album or something, and that can be awkward because I'm basically becoming a doppelganger, and even if I never meet that person, which is the worst case scenario, I might meet a friend or just even somebody else who recognizes them from the magazine. I don't want that. That's ugly. So I better have an upside if I can change forms, because as much as I might grow interested, and I might like to try out a couple of other forms from time to time, the inconveniences don't really weigh up if I can't safely change into other animals. If I can change into other animals, I'm going to assume that I keep my human mind and that I can somehow coordinate, that I can actually fly rather than just being like, how do wings work? Help! Wings, help! Help! I'm sorry, that was the worst bird impression ever. Forgive me, that might be an outtake. But anyway, yeah, I think changing shape would be really cool. And even so, to steal from his Dark Materials, aka the Golden Compass, in the books, if you aren't aware of it, there are diamonds who are kind of your soul companion, your spirit animal, if you will, and they follow you around, and for kids, they can change shape at will. They can change into anything, even dragons you see. But for adults, they're always fixed in place. And it's not really described why. It's one of the mysteries of the book until towards the very end, when it's revealed that when you first fall in love, your daemon settles into a fixed form, not so much because they're incapable physically of changing, but just because at that point they can no longer imagine wanting to be in another form. And even though there are some other issues with that series, I do find that particular sentiment to be very nice. It's sweet. So maybe there's something to that. Moving on, taking a break from all the deeper discussion to just something more lighthearted and fun, if not particularly desirable. This week's Would You Rather. Maintaining your current weight. Would you rather be half as tall or twice as tall as you are right now? For reference, if we say that I'm about 6 feet, I'm a little short, but say about 6 feet and 150 pounds. If I was half that height, I'm going to be 3 feet and 150 pounds. Or twice that height is 12 feet and 150 pounds. I'll discuss it in next week's video, but check some references on exactly what scale those mean. It's you get some funny comparisons, to say the least. So, that's the question of the week. I would love to hear comments down below why you think one or the other. I'm going to make it a little bit simpler and say that there's no immediate health risks with either option, because that might just kill some of it. But if you want to discuss those health risks, by all means, it's on you to do so. I'm happy to hear it, honestly. So, until next week, as always, see ya. Oh, wings, help!